Hey guys, you're watching Dirt Bike Channel. This is Kyle Brotherson, your host, and today I've got some freaking awesome news. If you've been paying attention, you have noticed, or maybe you haven't noticed yet, that Husqvarna has just dropped a bombshell. In fact, they've dropped 3 bombshells. That is that they've announced 3 new bikes. They've unveiled 3 new bikes for their 2017 lineup, and no one else really has any answer. This is one of the reasons why I love KTM and love Husqvarna, because they're actually doing something in the industry. They are producing new bikes, they're producing new developments, they're giving us innovation, and they're doing it not only on the 4-stroke line, but they're also doing it on the 2-stroke line. Let me quote from their site. Completely new for 2017, the TX300 signifies the constant development and secure future of the historic 300cc 2-stroke in the Husqvarna off-road lineup. Guess what? They just released basically what is the KTM 300 XC. They are releasing that line of bikes, that XC line, the KTM XC line that I love so much and so many other people love so much. KTM is doing that with their Husqvarna line. So now we have the TX300, which is a 2-stroke. We have the FX350, which is a 4-stroke, and the FX450. And these things are incredible. Like, just looking at what I can see here, I was just telling Sam the other day that the only reason why I don't buy a Husky is because I want a 300XC bike, and they only had basically the TE300, which was the equivalent essentially of a KTM 300 XCW. Those are great bikes, but for what I'm doing right now, I want the KTM 300XC. That's the bike that I own now, and that's the bike that I've fallen in love with just for the type of riding that I've been doing. It's an all-around bike for me, and now Husqvarna is doing that in this line. So check this out. Here are some of the highlights. It's got rear linkage. It's got linkage on the rear shock. It's the new frame that all the 2016s got in their bikes with KTM and Husky. All those 4-strokes and all the love that the 4-strokes got. The new frame is coming in these 2017 bikes. This TX300. It's got a redesigned motor with the electric start down on the bottom. They haven't touched the 300 2-stroke motor for such a long time that, I mean, it's just kind of it's almost gotten boring. I mean, the motor isn't boring, but they haven't done any innovations on it. And KTM and Husky are now making some innovations with they've redesigned where the shafts go to try to centralize mass and reduce vibration. They've moved where the electric start is. This is freaking amazing. They've also decided to put a map select switch right up there on your left thumb so you can modify the ignition curve on the fly. They're putting traction control. I know they're putting it in the 4-strokes, traction control so that you don't slip the wheel as much. I don't know if that's going to come in the 2-stroke yet. More news on that, hopefully forthcoming. They've changed carburetors from the Key-in carburetor over to the Mikuni carburetor, and they've gone from a 36 millimeter up to a 38 millimeter. So pretty stinking awesome. They're doing a Magura clutch. They've got ODI locking grips. They're doing a lithium-ion battery, which is 2 pounds lighter than the old batteries they used to put in there. They're going to do air forks, the AER forks, across the line on these things. We'll figure out if that's going to be a good thing or not. And the 2-stroke is getting a 2.65 gallon tank. The other thing is it's light. The bike weighs 216.9 pounds. Now, I think that's without fuel in it, but that is stinking light. The 2016 KTM 300 XC was 224 pounds. I just did the calculation. It's this bike, this TX300, and I'm assuming that the KTM 300 XC is going to get the same treatment next week or whenever they release it. This TX300 is 7.3 pounds lighter than last year's bike, and I am so excited about that. That is amazing. As far as moving over to the 4-strokes, the FX350, check this thing out. It's got all those same, the ignition curve switch, the map select switch, and all that stuff. The motor on that 4-stroke is 60 pounds, and it puts out 58 horsepower. Let me just say that again. The motor's 60 pounds, it puts out 58 horsepower. On the 450, which they are also releasing, the motor weighs 61.3 pounds and puts out 63 horsepower. It puts out more horses than it weighs. Here's some other things. So on the 350 and the 450, you're going to get launch control. Launch control, guys. That's a motocross feature, but you're going to get it in this off-road bike. You're going to get launch control, traction control. They've been centralizing the weight on those motors, trying to reduce vibration and different things. The 350 will rev to 13,400 RPMs. The 350 weighs in at 221.7 pounds. That's just 4.7 pounds heavier than the two-stroke. Wow. The 350 only has the 2.25 gallon tank versus on the two-stroke, you'll get a 2.65 gallon tank. And then they also have a gear sensor on their EMS so that the power delivery can be tailored for each gear. That goes with the 350 and the 450. Holy cow. These bikes are going to be absolutely incredible. The only thing is the 350 and the 450, the four strokes, they don't come with a kickstart, which I hate. I wish they came with a kickstart. I would sacrifice the extra pound and a half, 2 pounds, whatever it is, to have a kickstart, a way to auxiliary, start the bike. That's one of the things that's freaking awesome about the two-stroke version is it still has a backup Kickstarter, in case your battery goes dead or something happens that way. So anyway, I don't know if you can tell, but I am totally excited for this. I think this is one of the biggest things to come, especially for the two-strokes in a number of years. Husky, thank you for doing this for us. And KTM, you're the one backing it all because KTMs and Huskies are made in the same exact factory now. So I expect to see these same types of things happen maybe within the next few days. KTM's going to unveil all of their bikes because this is the same company here. So this is stinking cool. And thank you, KTM and Husky, for actually innovating in this market when so many of the other players like Honda and Kawasaki and Yamaha and Suzuki are not really they're not doing anything essentially in two strokes. I mean, Yamaha started to play with it a little bit now. But thank you so much for making these bikes, Husky and KTM. And we are super stoked to be able to try some of these things out.